the trail again and again, hiking and hunting and fishing the land. Time is time well spent. We'll take it to the Delta, to the great white shores. There's so much to see and do, Mississippi outdoors. The great outdoors, Mississippi outdoors. The great outdoors, Mississippi outdoors. The great outdoors, Mississippi outdoors.
What makes it fun to be a charter boat captain? Meeting crazy people, because that's what we do. Every person we ever meet, you just never know who they are. And today was one of those fortunate days.
Well, as a kid, I was an airplane nut, and I read every single book in the entire library. And of course, the glorious things were the stories about the people that flew the fighters and the airplanes in World War II.
We couldn't ask for a much more beautiful day. We were the only boat leaving today out of Biloxi, so I changed my strategy up. I want to do some anchoring up to get the guys on some action.
And lo and behold, I meet George Dangelman, who was one of the guys that did all of that history.
Oh boy, it felt great. It kind of felt like fishing with a bunch of legends in the military.
Highly experienced pilots to share a boat ride with these guys and go out and do something like fishing around the islands.
I mean, my goodness, we had a World War II naval aviator, a veteran of the SR-71 and E03 program in the Cold War. We had a double combat veteran of the United States Marine Corps from Iraq and Afghanistan, and then I think Mike Peterson and I were kind of bringing up the rear as the two generals. So our backgrounds paled in comparison to the other heroes on the boat.
And to be with them, so many of these guys that have a lot more years in the service than myself. I only had 21, but was doing what I wanted to do. I wanted to fly fighters, and I got to do that.
Whenever we were bait fishing this morning, we were using Shimano's bait caster reels, charter specials. And we started out using live croakers, and the sharks got pretty thick, eating the croakers pretty good. We switched over to cut bait.
Yeah, well, I love living here. I mean, I grew up in Ocean Springs. I went to high school in Ocean Springs. I went to college at the University of Southern Mississippi. Spent 30 years in the Air Force, and the first thing I did was made a beeline to come back home because of the wonderful people you have here, the wonderful climate, and most importantly to me, being a big fisherman, the ability to go from fantastic freshwater fishing in some of our lakes and rivers out there into the Gulf of Mexico like we did today to go do both brown water fishing and deep blue fishing. It's one of those places on earth where you can really have it all, and I really, really appreciate living here on the Gulf Coast.
Eventually changed over to drone spoons for trolling using a combination of lead lines. I typically pull anywhere from 6 to 8 lines for the mackerel setups. I'll pull 2 long lines which have leads on them with about 15 foot a leader with a spoon, and then I pull big planers, which are basically metal devices that displace water and dive down to the desired depth. And whenever a fish strikes the lure behind the planer, it'll automatically trip it and bring it back up to the surface. And that's how we caught most of our mackerel today.
The old saying, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to catch in the Mississippi Sound or the Gulf of Mexico, but it's always something fun.
We went out today on a beautiful 36-foot Bertrand fishing boat. It's the first time that I've ever been out any deep sea fishing at all. These guys are all pros at it. Well, George and I are both pilots. I found out that he was a Corsair pilot in World War II. And I was born in World War II right here in Gulfport. And those guys have always been my heroes. I read every single book in the library about them. And to meet a guy that has actually done it, that has lived that history, one of the greatest pleasures of my life.
Right after the war, there was a lot of airplanes that were built during the war, and they were all prop planes. The jets really didn't come out until after the war was over, World War II, that is. So being a civilian for 4 years, I started flying with the Weekend Warriors and the Corsairs, and they called the entire group, the air group, There was 5 different squadrons in Air Group 8 that was recalled during the Korean War. That was in 1950, in December 1950.
George has done virtually everything. He flew almost 200 missions in World War II off the carriers in the Pacific. After that, he was called back into the service for Korea, flew the Corsairs and ground attack in Korea. After that, he stayed in the Navy, and he flew every airplane that the Navy had all the way up through the first 4 of the jets off of the carriers, and was an instructor pilot all that time.
So anyway, they were concerned about intercepting high altitude planes into the jets was what we had. The Corsairs were designed to fight the Japs and all from 5,000 feet down and not over 20,000 feet. That's where the World War II was fought. They wanted to get a plane that would intercept a jet up at between 30 and 40,000 feet. So in the Corsair squadron that I was in, they wanted to see if we could actually do that with a Corsair. So the first 2 planes I attacked in the Corsair, there were twin-engine bombers, and as I approached these planes to make a gunnery run, I was going at just about full throttle at 34,000 feet to intercept these bombers. And as I approached them, these were experienced pilots. I could tell because as I approached them, they turned into me, which cut down my approach time just a matter of seconds. And so as I went past these planes, as they turned into me, I had to completely turn upside down and pass these bombers going upside down at full throttle. And the reason for that is that after I made my first pass, I wanted to be able to recover and get back up with advantage so I could make an attack from the other side. I had a 4-plane division. It was my wingman, myself, and my section leader and his wingman. So we would have had the bombers bracketed, 2 on each side of them. Well, as I approached these bombers and had to turn upside down, went past them vertically, I had full power on to maintain as much speed as I could possibly make. And I got going straight down and tried to recover, and I couldn't. I lost complete control of the Corsair. It was going straight down, and nothing I could do would change it. I had the power off, but in those planes we didn't have any speed brakes, and I could tell that as I'm approaching compressibility that I was losing complete control. As I came back with my stick, I could have revolved that stick any place in the cockpit, and it had no effect. The reason being that I had built up a shock wave in front of my elevators, and in that shock wave, the control surface was useless. So as I proceeded to head down, it took me from 34,000 feet to 17,000 feet to recover. And the only way I did was I opened my oil cooler flaps underneath the nose of the aircraft, and by just milking it up a little at a time, I was finally able to recover from a dive and get my nose back to the horizon. And my other plane said you could hear this little voice saying, "Guys, don't dive with full power on from that altitude, or you're not going to get out of the dive." And that's about the end of my story.
George is awe-inspiring. It was so difficult to have survived World War II doing any kind of fighting, let alone being in the United States Navy, let alone being a fighter pilot in the United States Navy for as long as he did. And it didn't stop there. You know, he had a fantastic career after World War II in the Navy. And actually, the story I enjoyed the most was him and the accident he had in the World War I SPAD replica out there. It doesn't get more awe-inspiring than to have a naval aviator, World War II veteran, tell you about hanging upside down in a home-built SPAD World War I aircraft, getting soaked in gasoline while he was being lectured by the horse farm owner about how if he'd hit one of the Colts it would have cost him $40,000, never mind the fuel leaking onto the naval aviator's nice leather jacket. Fantastic.
But none of them quite as exciting as flying off the carriers at night. That was something that, unless you were, well, I'm not going to call you an idiot, but that was a hard thing to say was fun. Especially up in the North Atlantic in the wintertime in January.
Hey, Sean.
Man, we got a run of tarpon right now, you know, anywhere from 100 to 150 pounds you might catch. Cobia, big sharks, jack crevalle, king mackerel, span. I mean, you just never know what you're gonna hook out there trolling on these trips.
No, I got to tell you that the crew on this vessel was absolutely fantastic. I'll go out with them any day at any time. Really happy to have had a day like today. It was a real honor being amongst these veterans.
Our first mate on this trip was a young man, and he served 3 tours in Afghanistan, 2 tours in Iraq, was ground infantry, and talk about heroes. Those guys like him are the heroes. To go out on a boat and he'd be our first mate and do everything, work as hard as he did. Man, what better company could anybody ask for?
These are the days that makes it great to be working in the outdoors and living where we live. The resources that we have in Mississippi, not natural resources, but we have Air Force Base, Navy Base, we got construction that goes and does this for our boys to defend our country, and here we are, we got people from World War II, Korea. Today's are days like the days I look forward to doing.
But so many of these jobs that I've been on is just jobs that nobody else had ever been on.
Being a boat captain, working in the outdoors, giving a chance to give a little bit back to people, that's done a lot for us. Today's a pretty emotional day for anybody. We had heroes on board this boat today.
Very interesting and something to tell your kids about again.
The Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks is proud to offer 2 world-class shooting facilities. Turcotte Shooting Range near Jackson and McHenry Shooting Range near Wiggins. Our shooting ranges are safe, affordable, and a great way to sharpen your skills or introduce someone new to shooting sports. We offer rifle, pistol, archery, sporting clay, skeet, and trap ranges, as well as a 5-stand range over water. Learn more at mdwfp.com.
You ready to go get them?
Oh yeah.
Me too.
We're in Issaquena County at my hunting camp. I inquired about 8 years ago about the alligator hunting through our biologist. Talked to him about getting some permits on our camp. Each year I've been fortunate enough to get drawn. Every year we have a lottery at the hunting camp with all the other members to see who gets the permits. The first year we started out, didn't know much about gator hunting, and we learned the hard way.
You got it in 4-wheel drive? Worry about getting in, don't worry about getting out.
We stayed stuck more than we did alligator hunting in the mud, trying to get boats in and out of water holes.
Just a little help from my friends.
But we learned from that, we improved, have caught several big alligators, over 11 foot. The biggest and most memorable alligator hunt was in 2012 when we caught the state record for heaviest alligator. The alligator, for the first almost hour, we didn't see the alligator, had no idea how big it was. We just knew it was a big one because it was under the water the whole time. When I first saw the alligator for the first time is when it came up to the side of the boat, when I was on my knees in the bottom of the boat holding the rod and reel. And it came up right beside me and blew slimy, snotty stuff all in my face. And I had both hands on the rod and reel. I couldn't do anything but just wipe my face on my shirt and keep holding on. Well, the alligator made a run for the bank, got a gulp of air, and immediately came straight back to the boat and hit the boat in the side with all of us and our gear and everything, turned the boat up on the side. Water started rushing in on the opposite side of the boat. He ran again. About an hour and 15 minutes later, we were finally able to dispatch the alligator, and that's when the real work started, trying to get him back to the camp and in the cooler. And then it was actually the next day before we found out and had it officially weighed and found out that it was the new state record for 2012 for the heaviest alligator.
Kenny and I have been friends for quite a while, and he said, hey, how about I'm gonna get a private tag for the camp. Come join me in an alligator hunt. And I thought, well, what the heck, we'll do it one time. I can say I did it, and you know, that'll be that. First year we were busted. We didn't do anything right.
I can smell that old boar. Nope. Oh, my head. You just took my light and everything out.
We've been lucky enough to encounter several gators, capture quite a few. For us, we want to keep this program going. We don't want to kill every gator that we see. We try to focus on the bigger, older gators. During the course of the season, we'll capture 15 to 20 gators, take pictures, take new people with us hunting who've never done it before and expose them to the sport. People have a lot of misconceptions about alligators, so a lot of fun, you know. Tonight, hopefully, Kenny and I are going to be better at casting than we usually are. My role as we've evolved in this experience is that I primarily drive the boat, run the lights, do the snare work, and at the end, if we take the gator, I do the dispatch with the gun.
Ease up here and see how many eyes we see. He's right there. Just put some light over there for us.
That one's gonna go 8 foot.
Put the light on him, please.
We missed him.
I know. I went right in front of
He's just sitting there waiting on us, boys. He really did let us get in casting distance.
He did. That's probably him. Might be. There's two of them over there. See the other one against the tree line?
Yeah.
But you're going to have to put me in high gear. I got the light on him. Whenever you're ready. Watch it.
There you go. Reel it, Kenny, reel it. Reel it, reel it, reel it, reel it, reel it, reel it. There you go. You got him, you got him. All right. Hold on to him, just keep it tight. Keep it tight, baby, keep it tight.
Ah. Nice one. Get him.
Blake, get another hook in that alligator.
He's steadily pulling.
Get another hook in him.
You got the dog catcher pole?
Yeah.
He's fixing to come up. Just don't tug on him. There he is. There's his tail. Pretty good tail there. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Remember, Jim, with that snare pole,
Yep.
he's going to try to take it away from you, and if that's the only one we got, you got a buoy tied onto it or something?
We fixing to have.
All right. Jim, Jim. Good. Good. We're gonna need one of them in his head. You're in the back of him too. You're in the back leg.
Somebody put a light on him,
We're both in the back.
or hand me a light.
There's a light in that seat, brother.
You're gonna need to get his head, or we're not gonna be able to control him.
I know.
You right on this.
You may get that other pole and hook the head of it, Jim.
This is my lightweight pole.
It don't matter. Lightweight, heavyweight, we got two good ones in it. All we want to do is raise that head up. If you can just get up against it easy and pull it up, is the best thing. He's coming. Easy, easy, easy.
Got him up here, Kent.
Easy. I know. All the way back.
All the way back.
Just gotta get him.
Got to get behind them jowls.
I got him.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna control his tail end. All right.
He's got now.
All right, Blake. I think I need to keep his tail controlled, and that way we can control him a lot better, keep him from rolling and flopping. He's mad. Need me to hold that, Blake, while you get some tape? Hold him tight now. He's a big one.
I got him.
All right, Jim.
I got him.
Can you help him tape him? Can you help tape him? Wrap it real good, real good.
All right, Blake. We done good, baby. We got him. He's wrapped.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Rolling, rolling. I got it. I got it. I got it. Come on. Come on with me.
1, 2.
All right, all right, all right. It's a male?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
It's a male?
Yeah.
Well, you know what we do with males.
It's the biggest gator we've seen out here all year.
Well, it's not like we've been overrun with gators this year down here. I mean, this is our best start on a night so far, so I'd just soon build a big fire at the house and eat some steak. You know? And butcher a gator tomorrow morning.
That's it.
Do this.
And just hold it down on it. On the back.
9, 6.5.
And that ain't flat.
Nope.
That'd be 9, 7, 9, 8.
9/8.
Get his skull.
I know. Right there. All right.
Don't hold it right to him.
Ready? All right. That's good stuff, ain't it, cuz? All right.
Woohoo! 4th year, 4th gator.
Yeah. You know, if we didn't take him, we'd have to spend all day tomorrow rebuilding reels and rods and snares. So
Fixing everything that we tore up.
yeah, really.
Let me
All right. It's Oreo cookie time, y'all.
We're back at the camp tonight with our harvest. We're hunting on the Mississippi River, Issaquena County. We got somewhere between a 9'6" to a 10-foot alligator. Put up a good fight. Broke just about every piece of equipment we have in the boat tonight. But in the end, we ended up winning. And we got a really nice gator to show for it. Put the kill shot on it, me and my hunting buddies, and we had a great night.
So I kind of started this a long time ago when we first started hunting because my wife doesn't like me to eat a lot of sweets.
so we don't keep them around the house. And I told Kenny the first grocery trip we took, I said, get some Oreos. And then they kind of turned into a tradition where anytime we take a gator, we always celebrate the kill, the gator, the hunt with an Oreo. So here you go.
It's a successful hunt.
All right. All right, bro.
All right, a wrap.
Riding through the bayou, headed for the sky blue, back out on the trail again and again. Hiking and hunting and fishing the land, time is time well spent.